Hello everyone and welcome back to New Power Official. In today's video we will be taking a look at some old Batman games. I recently saw that the Arkham Trilogy port was announced for the Nintendo Switch and honestly I was pissed. Not because I hate the Arkham Trilogy, I actually love it. But why is this barely coming out? I've always wanted to play the Arkham games on the go and now that I got rid of my Switch, it gets announced for the Switch. Luckily I have a Steam Deck so I'm not too mad about it anymore, but anyways, I played and ranked every Batman game on the PlayStation. Before I continue, please make sure to like the video, comment with your favorite Batman game of all time, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Now let's get this started. Batman and Robin was released in 1998 for the PlayStation. This game is a direct tie into the film of the same name that was released in 1997. Batman and Robin was developed by Probe Entertainment and published by Acclaim Entertainment. This game is an open-world action-adventure game. You can play as either Batman, Robin, or Batgirl, and each character uses a unique vehicle such as the Batmobile, the Redbird motorcycle, and the Batblade. The game features real-time events based on the in-game time. The flow of the game is creative, but definitely not executed properly. You have to find and link up the clues to discover Mr. Freeze's next crime. If you don't gather enough clues, you will fail that mission. For example, the first mission, you need to combine clues, and from those clues, you will be given a time and location. The first mission is stopping Mr. Freeze from robbing a diamond from a museum. When you arrive, you have to fast forward time for the alarm to go off, and you pretty much have to disable the alarm and steal the diamond before Mr. Freeze does. I like the ideas this game has. They really wanted you to become the world's greatest detective on paper, but in execution, you're literally just dealing with the dumbest criminals to ever exist. Going back to my example in the first mission, you literally already have the first clue telling you what's being robbed and where and at what time, simply because some idiot wrote it on a museum paper and didn't bother to keep it locked away or hide it somewhere so that fucking Batman of all people can find it on a sidewalk after leaving a restaurant where he just ate a $10,000 steak. At least that's how I would assume he found this clue considering how stupid the robbery was planned. Batman and Robin is the worst Batman game on the PlayStation for a lot of reasons. First off, the controls are abysmal. There is no fluidity to this game whatsoever. Character movement is stiff. There are other games on the PlayStation that have similar player movement that do it way better. For example, the original Tomb Raider games and the Resident Evil games. They do it significantly better. What's even worse is the camera. It's all over the fucking place. This game constantly wants you to be in tight or enclosed spaces to trigger a switch or find a clue, yet whenever you enter these areas you can't see what's around you without activating the first person view, which is also very stiff. You will die a lot due to this horrible camera system. What is even more frustrating is the combat. It is some of the worst combat I've ever experienced in a video game. The movement is frustrating enough, but when you literally have to align yourself correctly while you're getting beat on is just plain stupid. There are very slight differences between the characters you play as. While Batman is slower, he packs a bigger punch. Robin is much more agile, but he can't take a punch for shit. The differences don't go further than that as far as I could tell. I do give this game props. Gotham City feels large, and we're talking about the PlayStation 1 here. That's quite impressive. Also, the game doesn't look as bad as other entries in this generation. But aside from that, I have no other positive comments for Batman and Robin. I don't recommend that you try this one. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker comes in at 3rd place. This game is a 2.5D side-scrolling beat-em-up that released on the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Game Boy Color in 2000 and 2001. You play as a new Batman, Terry McGinnis, who is a now retired Bruce Wayne's replacement as a Dark Knight. You are tasked with stopping the Joker's gang led by the recently revived Joker. If you've heard of this game before, then you already know that this is considered one of the worst games of all time, and for very good reason. After playing the first 2 minutes of the first stage, I didn't think it was too bad, but damn did that change so fast. I changed between the different gadgets and weapons at your disposal and I thought I was gonna be a wrecking machine. Seriously though, you get electric nunchucks from the start and I thought I was gonna be a badass. But then the combat starts and I was in shock at how dull it was. First off, there are only 2 animations for unarmed combat. It's literally a straight punch and a straight kick. For the Dark Knight staff, he also only has 1 animation where he spins with the staff in his hands. My point is, everything Batman does has only 1 fucking animation. It's so dull and boring. The combat is also really imbalanced due to the shitty enemy AI. At times, enemies will literally stare at you while you pummel them, and other times you'll take 3 hits to give 1, and they will drain your health very quickly. It's crazy how regular enemies can be more difficult to defeat than actual bosses. The first boss, I defeated him by throwing exploding batarangs at him and finished him off fairly quickly. The problem really starts in the second stage. Holy shit, I died countless times. The difficulty is ramped up significantly. You'll have a regular Joker's thug attacking you while these vacuum looking robots fly from side to side, and when they land they'll shoot you with lasers, and as I mentioned before, some enemies will spam their attack, literally not letting you get more than 1 hit in, and that's what every thug in this level does. I also found out that Batman's lame ass kick does more damage than any of his weapons, so I ended up just spamming his kick. This combat is disgustingly bad. They did Batman dirty with this one, but I somehow found more enjoyment in Return of the Joker than I did in Batman and Robin, so I guess that's a win for this game. In second place, we have Batman Gotham City Racer. Developed by Sinister Games and published by Ubisoft, Gotham City Racer was released in 1997. GCR is a racing game that takes place in the Batman animated series universe. You can drive as each character's primary vehicle, such as Batman's Batmobile or Nightwing's Nightwing Cycle. This game features 3 game modes. The first game mode is Adventure Mode, in which you play through different scenarios from the Batman animated series. You have to stop different villains from the show, and this mainly includes driving from point A to B before a timer runs out, or tailing a villain to his destination without being spotted, and chasing down a villain and shooting at them until you deplete their vehicle's health. After most missions, a cutscene from the show will play. In Patrol Mode, you choose your vehicle and select a region from Gotham City to patrol crime. You will need to stop villains from robbing banks by shooting them down. Finally, there is a 2-player pursuit where each player selects a character and where one player has to shoot the other down. It's pretty much cops and robbers. Batman Gotham City Racer is in second place, but don't be mistaken, it's not a good game. It's also not the worst game I've ever played, and certainly not the worst Batman game ever made. It's playable when you compare it to the 2 previous games on this list. The Adventure Mode, in my opinion, is the weakest amongst the 3. Adding short clips from the show doesn't really pull me in. This mode consisted of driving from point A to point B without enemies in your way. It got boring and repetitive real quick. They would throw in a few missions here and there where you need to tail the villain or shoot them down, but they were too few and far between. The controls are also not very good. It's really difficult to keep your car straight, especially when speeding up. Crashing into a car will literally spin you out of control even if you barely bump them, and this always made me restart the level. Like I said, it's a bad game, but definitely not as bad as Batman and Robin and Return to the Joker. Batman Forever the arcade game was released in arcades in the US and a port for MS-DOS, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn in 1996. This game was developed by Probe Entertainment and Iguana Entertainment and was published by Acclaim Entertainment. That's a lot of entertainments, and this game's not entertaining. Batman Forever features photo digitized characters, which is something they have done before with the Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam ports. Batman Forever the arcade game automatically gets a point for me because of the goofy ass character selection screen. You have Batman and Robin twirling non-stop until you select a character. Each character has a unique combat style, but it's not that unique as the only options you have for combat are punches and kicks, which are extremely basic, but you can pull off some combinations here and there. There are a lot of power-ups scattered throughout the levels, such as Batarangs, Shockwave Batmans. What the fuck is Shockwave Batman? Why did I write that? There are a lot of power-ups scattered throughout the levels, such as Batarangs and a grappling hook, to name a few. You also have a special meter. Once it's filled, your character will automatically trigger that special even if you don't need it at that time. It felt like such a waste when I wasn't completely surrounded by enemies. Also, I don't remember Batman and Robin having superpowers. This game gives them superpowers. This game made me realize how humble Batman and Robin are for not using their superpowers in the film. This game definitely looks a bit muddy at times. I couldn't follow the action simply because of how mushed everything looked. Definitely meant for the arcade in mind, as the title suggests. Even on the easiest difficulty, you will die back to back to back to back and will need to use a continue. I can see how in the arc you would be expected to throw your money at this, but on the PlayStation they should have made some adjustments, as you can't put coins in your console, so they're not gaining anything with torturing you at home. I will end this on a good note for Batman Forever the arcade game. You can throw your enemies at the screen, similar to Turtles in Time, which is one of my favorite beat 'em ups of all time. Playing all these Batman games made me more grateful for the Arkham series, but it also made me realize that there is not a single good Batman game on the PlayStation. Yeah, sure, they could be nostalgic, but you'll be pulled right out of that nostalgia minutes into each of these games. Overall, I had fun making this video. Please like the video, comment if you played any of these titles in your childhood, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content, and I'll see you in the next one.